Tonight, Shahrazad tells a tale of fate and consequence, a story of a merchant, a demon, and a moment that would change everything.
It is said, O wise and happy king, that once there was a prosperous merchant who had abundant wealth and investments and commitments in every country. He had many women and children and kept many servants and slaves. One day, having resolved to visit another country, he took provisions, filling his saddlebag with loaves of bread and with dates, mounted his horse, and set out on his journey. For many days and nights he journeyed under God's care until he reached his destination. When he finished his business, he turned back to his home and family. He journeyed for 3 days, and on the 4th day, chancing to come to an orchard, went in to avoid the heat and shade himself from the sun of the open country. He came to a spring under a walnut tree, and tying his horse, sat by the spring, pulled out from the saddlebag some loaves of bread and a handful of dates, and began to eat, throwing the date pits right and left until he had had enough. Then he got up, performed his ablutions, and performed his prayers. But hardly had he finished when he saw an old demon with sword in hand, standing with his feet on the ground and his head in the clouds. The demon approached until he stood before him and screamed, saying, "Get up, so that I may kill you with this sword, just as you have killed my son." When the merchant saw and heard the demon, he was terrified and awe-stricken. He asked, "Master, for what crime do you wish to kill me?" The demon replied, "I wish to kill you because you have killed my son." The merchant asked, "Who has killed your son?" The demon replied, "You have killed my son." The merchant said, "By God, I did not kill your son. When and how could that have been?" The demon said, "Didn't you sit down, take out some dates from your saddlebag, and eat, throwing the pits right and left?" The merchant replied, "Yes, I did." The demon said, "You killed my son, for as you were throwing the stones right and left, my son happened to be walking by and was struck and killed by one of them, and I must now kill you." The merchant said, "Oh, my lord, please don't kill me." The demon replied, "I must kill you as you killed him, blood for blood." The merchant said, "To God we belong, and to God we return. There is no power or strength save in God the Almighty, the Magnificent. If I killed him, I did it by mistake. Please forgive me." The demon replied, "By God, I must kill you as you killed my son." Then he seized him, and throwing him to the ground, raised the sword to strike him. The merchant began to weep and mourn his family and his wife and children. Again the demon raised his sword to strike, while the merchant cried until he was drenched with tears, saying, "There is no power or strength save in God the Almighty, the Magnificent." Then he began to recite the following verses. "Life has 2 days, one peace, one weariness, and has 2 sides, worry and happiness. Ask him who taunts us with adversity, does fate save those worthy of note oppress? Don't you see that the blowing, raging storms only the tallest of the trees beset? And of earth's many green and barren lots, only the ones with fruits with stones are hit? And of countless stars in heaven's vault, none is eclipsed except the moon and sun. You thought well of the days when they were good, oblivious to the ills destined for one. You were deluded by the peaceful nights, yet in the peace of night does sorrow stun." When the merchant finished and stopped weeping, the demon said, "By God, I must kill you as you killed my son, even if you weep blood." The merchant asked, "Must you?" The demon replied, "I must," and raised his sword to strike. But morning overtook Shahrazad, and she lapsed into silence, leaving King Shahryar burning with curiosity to hear the rest of the story. Then Dinarzade said to her sister Shahrazad, "What a strange and lovely story!" Shahrazad replied, "What is this compared with what I shall tell you tomorrow night if the king spares me and lets me live? It will be even better and more entertaining." The king thought to himself, "I will spare her until I hear the rest of the story, then I will have her put to death the next day." When morning broke, the day dawned, and the sun rose, the king left to attend to the affairs of the kingdom, and the vizier, Shahrazad's father, was amazed and delighted. King Shahryar governed all day and returned home at night to his quarters, and got into bed with Shahrazad. Then Dinarzade said to her sister Shahrazad, "Please, sister, if you are not sleepy, tell us one of your lovely little tales to while away the night." The king added, "Let it be the conclusion of the story of the demon and the merchant, for I would like to hear it." Shahrazad replied, "With the greatest pleasure, dear happy king."